Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be making a Map of the Soul 7 kind of review spread, just like my overall spread for this album. I really wanted a lot of space to write about each song, so not only did I do like a half Dutch door spread, but I also extended both pages on the left and the right. What I did was I just cut out a page from the back of my journal and I just like glued it in and then folded it over. I didn't show that part because it was kind of a trial and error kind of thing, and I wasn't really sure if it was going to work or that I was even going to use it, but it did work okay. I might do that again and another time if I have like a lot of photos or a lot of writing to do on a spread, because I actually quite liked the setup. The only other thing that I really struggled with this spread, well, okay, it's not the only thing I struggled with, but one of the things I struggled with from the beginning was what photos I wanted to use, because I really wanted to do like the blue and yellow 7, because I feel like that's sort of like the main one that is used, you know, it's the one that's on Spotify and stuff like that, so I wanted to use that one, but there aren't really any concept photos that really match that color scheme. So I wasn't really sure what to do, and I didn't want to use old photos. My only other thought was that I could maybe use photos from the kinetic film, because, you know, the background is really blue. However, I've just did a spread for that music video, so I actually decided to not do photos at all in this spread. I really wanted it to be more so about the songs themselves and writing about the songs, and not so focused on photos. So I just thought that maybe if I just went with the color scheme, then it would be fine and I wouldn't really need the photos. And that aspect of the spread I think went over really well. The other thing that I knew that I wanted to do from the start was that I really wanted the Dutch door to be in the shape of the 7. And I kind of like threw around the idea of just drawing it on, or, you know, just writing a regular 7 and not actually using this exact 7. But I just really like the 7. I like the style like in the art for it, so I decided to actually just print it out, and that's actually the only thing that I printed out for this spread, since I didn't use photos. So I think it went really well. So what I did was I glued it onto a cardstock scrapbook paper and then glued it onto the Dutch door, and then I used my X-Acto knife to cut around it, because I just didn't think that I could get, you know, into all those grooves with just my scissors. I would have to like flip the journal all around and it would just be like a mess. So I actually put, it's just like a envelope that some labels came in underneath it, just so that it wouldn't cut through the other pages, and I just cut out around it. And I actually feel like I need to do this more when it comes to cutting out Dutch door spreads because it was way easier than trying to get my scissors in there. And here you start to see me doing the lettering on the other side. I decided that I wanted the left side to just be sort of like a title page, like it just would say Map of the Soul, and then the 7 would be on the other side. And I really wanted to do that kind of calligraphy style that I've talked about recently. I think I started doing it in my Dreamcatcher dystopia tree of language spread, where I wrote like my thoughts on the side, and it's just sort of like an uneven, like up and down calligraphy look, and I really like it, and I thought that it would look really cool on this side, but I struggled with it so much. Like I didn't keep it in because it was probably like an hour of just struggling with this lettering and like trying to decide how it was going to fit and how it was going to work, and I did it on like other, you know, sheets of paper first, and it just was not working. I drew it on another sheet of paper and cut it out, and it wasn't working, and eventually I just got so sick of it that I decided to just go for it and just write it straight onto the page. And I think it turned out okay, honestly, considering I had such a hard time with it. There are little things that I would change. I feel like the L on soul is a little bit squished, but other than that, I think it turned out okay. I also wish it had been more centered, because then I kind of felt like I had to, you know, fill the spread, or the space at the bottom of the spread there, which I did with like some scrapbook paper and some washi tape, but which looks fine. It's just not necessarily what I was was picturing. So, but again, I was just so sick of it that I just wanted to draw it straight onto the page, and I just wanted to be done with it. Which kind of stinks when you get to that point in a project that like it's just not working out, but you feel like you need to get it done, so you just keep going at it until you get something that's somewhat reasonable and close to what you wanted in the first place. But that's okay. I still think that it turned out cute, but I also felt like the background was kind of plain, so I used this highlighter or midliner and went in and added some little tiny sevens to the background, which I actually think turned out really cute. So one of the other original ideas I had for this spread was to sort of do the titles of the songs in the background of where I was going to journal. So instead of having like a title above where you journal or next to where you journal, it's in the back. So it's like, you know, it says shadow and then you write on top of it, but you can still sort of see the title through the writing. So I wanted to use this midliner because it still went with the color scheme, but it was very lightweight, and you know, it's essentially like a highlighter, so it's fairly easy to write over top of. The only issue is that I don't think I made the lines thick enough on a lot of the letters, so like they didn't really show up. Some I probably wouldn't have really been able to, like for instance this inner child, because I was really like squeezing the letters in there, but there are some other words that I feel like I really could have thickened up the lines, and it may have helped a little bit, because I think that that's really where I went wrong with this idea. I still really like the idea, and I think I might try it again. I guess I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself, but essentially after I started writing on top of it, it wasn't showing up. You couldn't tell what it said. And I just didn't really like it, so I ended up going over it with a little bit thicker, darker Tombow marker, which still just really didn't look how I imagined it. I'm not 100% sure what I could have done better other than writing the letters thicker, which you'll see. But on the other side of the Dutch door spread, I wanted to do this My Thoughts thing again. I'm just like really obsessed with it and how it looks, and I think it turned out great again this time. I don't know what it is about this style of calligraphy that I'm like super into right now. I think part of it is that you like don't have to make it look perfect, and it still looks really cool, and you don't have to worry about like all the letters being the same size, because that's sort of like the style of it. And I don't know, I'm just really into it and I want to incorporate it more. But yeah, so here I'm going in and starting to write, and I also think that at first I was using too thick of a pen. Like this pen was just too thick. I end up switching it about halfway through, but yeah, so now you can really see that it's not, I mean, you just can't see that it says shadow underneath, which kind of stinks because I just feel like that would have looked really, really cool. So the majority of the rest of this video is really just me filling in the journaling parts and writing, because like I said, this spread was a lot of writing, which is what I wanted, because I really wanted it to be about documenting my thoughts about the songs, and like my original thoughts and how they make me feel and stuff like that. And oh, and now you can see me going back over it with the Tombow marker, which I think was okay. It was an okay choice. I feel like it was the only way for me to fix it at that point. But anyway, so I've already kind of talked about shadow. I did a spread for it when it first came out. I just really think that the theme is pretty interesting, and I feel like it's kind of easy to misunderstand. I feel like a lot of people watched it and they're like, oh my gosh, he hates that we take pictures of him, and you know, he hates his fame, blah blah blah. But I think it's really just more of like a, you know, looking at the cons of getting exactly what you want. Like, yes, you're getting everything you want, but it comes with, you know, shadows as well, and that's just something that you have to accept. But it doesn't mean that he like regrets it, if that makes sense. At least that's the way, you know, I'm not Jungi, so, but that's the way that I interpret it. And I just feel like it's a very interesting and like a very mature take on his fame. And you know, the chorus is just really catchy. I've also talked about Black Swan already because I did a spread for it as well. I just really like the ominous vibe to the song, and I feel like it really goes hand in hand with shadow. You know, talking about how your passion has the power to kind of tear you apart, but you know, not doing what you're passionate about is like worse than death itself. Yeah, I just think that that's really interesting, and I think that any creator can like really relate to that. For Filter, I just love Jimin's voice so much. It's just so unique and so pretty. And this sounds so basic, but I also really love the Aladdin reference in it because Aladdin is one of my favorite Disney movies. Um, but yeah, it's just a very beautiful song and somehow like really kind of like sexy at the same time. I just really like it a lot. In My Time was really hands down one of my favorite songs in the album. There's just something about Jungkook's voice and music style that like really resonates with me, and of course most of you know that he is one of my biases. But honestly, the song is just so good and it really sounds like something that would be on the radio, like even here in the West, which they should play it on the radio here. But it also seems to go along with Shadow and Black Swan and kind of talking about how, getting what you want is amazing, but it also comes with some cons as well. And for him, because he was so young, when he became a trainee and even when they debuted, that he missed out on a lot of childhood experiences. But I feel like the take on it is just so incredibly Jungkook, because it's just like, but I'm gonna make up that time, so it's okay. It's just like so positive, which is just so him to me. Um, Louder Than Bombs, I'm not 100% sure I grasp exactly the meaning behind the song. It may be a little bit over my head, but the way that I interpret it is that it's just something about suffering in silence and not being able to show how much pain you're in and how much you're hurting. I feel like the music for the song is very haunting. And I think that Yoongi's verse is talking about how they feel bad for feeling pain because so many people want what they have, which honestly I think anyone can relate to an extent, because no matter how bad you feel, there's always someone who technically has it worse than you. But at the end of the day, they talk about how they're always going to sing for us and be there for us no matter what, which kind of makes me emotional. For On, again, I've already talked about On as well. And I saw that someone on Twitter said that listening to the song makes you feel like you're going to war. And honestly, I don't think that I could have described it better. They're once again talking about the shadows that follow them, which goes back to the interlude. My favorite part is when Jin says, "Can't hold me down because I'm a fighter." There's just something about his voice in that part, and just the fact that I just really like that lyric a lot. I just think it really shows like that they're realizing how strong they are and that they have the strength to keep fighting through the shadows. Like how they say, like, bring the pain on. And I resonate with that a lot, as I'm sure a lot of other people do. The only thing, I didn't actually add the Sia version to the song list on this because I don't really like it. I like Sia a lot, and I was kind of excited that she was going to be doing a collab with him because I don't like a lot of their collabs. But I just feel like it was kind of pointless. Like I would feel like they could have used her elsewhere. I don't know. Ugh, this song just gets me so pumped. I'm so excited to see this live. Like, it just goes really hard, and my interpretation is that they hold in their anger towards their haters a lot because they've become used to it, but sometimes it just explodes, and like sometimes you just need to get angry. And I really love Hobie's voice a lot. Like, I really like how it starts off as being like really calm and like low, and then it gets a little bit more manic to where he's like almost yelling. I just think that's really cool. 0 o'clock. The first time that I heard the chorus of this song, I literally just instantly started crying. It's just really meaningful to me, kind of like 2-3. It's basically just like at midnight, everything starts over, and it's okay that you're sad or that you made a mistake because it'll eventually be over and you'll be happy again. And it's just so reassuring to me. Like, they're telling me that I'm going to be okay when I'm upset. And I really, really want a 0 o'clock tattoo someday. I could literally listen to the "and you're gonna be happy" part like over and over again. It's just really special to me, I guess. Inner Child, I hadn't actually looked at the track list before I listened to the album, so I didn't actually know that this was Taeyang's solo at first. I thought it was just another vocal line song, and I was already an emotional wreck after listening to 0 o'clock, and this just continued my crying. I could just picture seeing this song performed live, and I just know that I'll probably cry during it at the concert. And there's just something about it that makes me really emotional even before I knew the lyrics translation. It's just really has this nostalgic feeling to it, just like the sound that itself. I don't know, I just really love it. Friends, this song actually really, really resonates with me like so much because I know exactly what it's like to have your best friend be your soulmate. I've always related to Jimin and Tae's closeness, and I'm really glad that they made this song together. And I love how they talk about how they're best friends, but they fight and get on each other's nerves more than anyone, because my best friend and I are exactly the same. It's just a really cute and meaningful song, and I love that they actually say that they're each other's soulmate, because I feel like platonic soulmates are, they're just really underrated. People don't talk about it as much, and it's just such a meaningful friendship. For Moon, I've talked about before that I really love songs and aesthetics that have to do with the moon and the stars, so I knew that I would love this song already. It's just really upbeat and pretty, and the lyrics are so cute and pretty, and I love all the metaphors in it. And I really love the part that's like, you are my earth, I am just a moon to you, you're a little star that lights up your heart, which that's a translation, obviously. And I feel like that's kind of how I feel about BTS, that they are like my whole world, but I'm just like another moon revolving around them. But at the end of the day, ARMY are the tiny little stars that light up their heart. I don't know. I like it a lot. And Jin is such a genuine person with such a beautiful voice, and I just love him so much. He deserves the world. And then for Respect, it kind of took me a minute to like fully understand this song. I love at the beginning though when Namjoon says "Ayo sugar." I feel like we all need to yell that at the concert, or this is just all for naught. But I love how the song is kind of set up like a conversation between Namjoon and Yoongi, like they're just discussing it, and it's just like a really cool effect. And I also like that even though the song is pretty upbeat, it's kind of shady on the low. I feel like they're talking about people that claim to respect them but don't when it comes down to it, and they're telling them that they maybe need to take another look at what the word respect means and how powerful real respect really is. We Are Bulletproof, The Eternal. As you can see, I left a huge space for this song because I had a lot to say. When I saw the title of the song, I knew that it was going to make me super emotional, and I was right. I honestly can't listen to this song without crying, and people have made so many meaningful edits on Twitter with this song that just like really get to me, and just something about its writing and them like writing songs to us specifically that just makes me so emotional, like how they aren't afraid and they're bulletproof now because of us. Like as I was writing all of this in my journal, I was literally crying. I've never felt love like the love and bond between BTS and ARMY, and it's just something that's really, really special to me. Like they genuinely love and value us as much as we do them. And you know, just the part where it says like we were only 7, but now we have you all now, and we're forever bulletproof. And Tae's part really gets to me where he says, tell me your every story, tell me why you don't stop this. And then Jen saying, tell me why you're still walking with us. It's just so like, oh, I'm kind of getting emotional right now. But I don't know, I just don't really have words. It's just the fact that I feel deep down in my heart that even though they don't know me personally, they care about me and what I've been through and what they've done for me as a person and in my life. And they have changed me, and I know that we've changed them for the better as well. And yeah, listening to this song, I just don't see how I could ever stop standing BTS or stop being an ARMY. And then Outro Ego, again, I've already done a spread for this too. I just love how undeniably Hobie this song is. Just like everything about it is just so Hobie. It's like the song version of Sunshine. And it's just so fun, and I love listening to it on nice days with my car windows down. And I also love the samples from their previous songs. And yeah, I don't know, I just love it. And the girl that does the vocals at the end is also amazing. It just fits really well with the song. So I decided to do my overall part kind of on the other flap there, because I didn't really have a plan for that flap. But yeah, overall, I just really love this album a lot. I mean, I'm never disappointed with BTS albums, but there's just something about this one that's just really like real and really raw, and I just love it a lot. So yeah, I decided to do the same font here, or the same calligraphy, and I didn't really want to fill up an entire page, so I did sort of this framing with the washi tape, and I just thought it gave it like some more pops of the color scheme. Again, I think it's good to add like a lot of the colors since I didn't use photos, so I really want it to still be like a very bright and fun theme. So yeah, then I just wrote about, you know, how much I love this album and what I really liked about it and how I feel like it's really special to me. So here is a look at the final spread. I'm honestly pretty happy with this spread. I think that my least favorite part is the journaling part, just because I don't like how the titles in the background turned out. but it's not horrible. It's not how I pictured it, I guess, but I really love the rest of the spread, and I'm glad that I gave myself plenty of room to write, because if you've made it this far in the video, you know that I obviously had a lot to say about each song. So yeah, I like how it turned out. I liked doing this, kind of extending the spread into this like huge spread. I kind of want to try that again. Maybe I can do that with some concept photos next time to like really add in a lot of photos. But anyways, if you like this spread and you enjoyed the video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for 1,000 subscribers. So if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content. I really want to do a giveaway soon, so be on the lookout for that. But anyway, stay safe guys, stay inside if you're able, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.